You hear that alarm at 4 a.m., and you already know what happens next. You hit snooze, not once, not twice, but again and again until the day already starts without you. And in that moment, you just lost. Not to the world, not to competition, but to yourself. Because the real fight was never outside. It was always you versus you. And you chose comfort. Let me ask you something brutally honest. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll work harder. Tomorrow I'll fix my life." But tomorrow never comes. It just keeps moving forward while you stay the same. And while you are stuck in that cycle, someone else is not. Someone else is waking up at that exact time you ignore. Not because they are special, not because they are gifted, but because they decided to stop negotiating with their mind. And that is where everything changes. You think success is about motivation. It is not. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like emotion. But discipline is identity. It is who you are when nobody is watching. And right now, if we are being honest, your identity is built on delay. Delay the workout. Delay the study. Delay the work. Delay the effort. And every delay is quietly building a life you don't actually want. Most people think they have time. But time is the one thing that does not care about your excuses. It moves whether you act or not. Now here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Nobody is coming to fix your life. No one is going to magically save you. No mentor, no system, no perfect opportunity. It is all on you. And that realization is either going to destroy you or wake you up. Most people choose comfort because it feels safe. They choose validation because it feels easy. They choose distraction because it numbs the pressure. But the price of comfort is regret. And regret is heavier than discipline ever will be. You don't realize it now, but every time you avoid discomfort, you are training yourself to stay average. And average becomes your default setting. Not because you lack talent, but because you lack consistency and pain. Let's talk about failure for a second. You are afraid of it. You avoid it. You overthink it. But failure is not what you think it is. Failure is not falling. Failure is stopping. That's it. Everything else is just data. Every attempt is feedback. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt. That's how growth actually works. But your mind does not want growth. Your mind wants protection. It will tell you to stop the moment things get uncomfortable. It will say you are not ready. It will say try later. It will say you are not good enough. And if you believe it, you lose. Not because you are weak, but because you never challenged the voice that was lying to you. The difference between average people and extraordinary people is not talent. It is tolerance for discomfort. Extraordinary people stay in the pain longer. They stay in the struggle longer. They stay in the repetition longer. And in that process, they become something most people never become. Unrecognizable from their old self. But that transformation comes at a cost. You will be misunderstood. People will think you are obsessed. They will say you are going too far. They will say you are changing, and they will be right. Because you are not supposed to stay the same, you are supposed to evolve. But evolution always looks strange from the outside. You are not supposed to fit in anymore. You are supposed to stand out. And that requires obsession, not balance, not comfort. Obsession. Because balance is what people use to stay average. They try to balance dreams with distractions. Goals with excuses, growth with comfort, and it never works, because growth demands full attention. There is no part-time greatness. You either go all in, or you stay the same. And deep down, you already know that. You just don't act on it. And that gap between knowing and doing is where most people lose their entire life. You are not lacking information, you are lacking execution. And execution is painful. That is why most people avoid it. But pain is not your enemy. Avoidance is. Because everything you want is on the other side of what you are avoiding right now. And until you face that, nothing changes. Not your body, not your mindset, not your life. So ask yourself one real question. Are you willing to be uncomfortable long enough to actually change? Or are you going to keep choosing the same comfort that keeps you stuck? Because at the end of the day, it always comes back to one thing. You versus you. And right now, you are either winning or slowly losing without even realizing it. The real battle is not in your environment. It is not in your job. It is not in your circumstances. It is inside your mind. That is where everything is decided. Every action, every excuse, every decision. Your mind is talking to you all day long. And most of the time, you are not even aware of it. It whispers doubts. It creates fear. It builds excuses that sound logical but are actually emotional protection. It says, you are tired. It says, you can do it later. It says, this is too hard. And slowly, without you realizing it, it starts controlling your entire life, because what you listen to repeatedly becomes your identity. Now here is the truth most people never face. Your brain is not designed for greatness. It is designed for survival. It wants you safe, comfortable, predictable. But success does not live in safety. It lives in uncertainty. It lives in pressure. It lives in moments where your mind says stop, but you continue anyway. That is where transformation begins. There is a point in every challenge where your mind will try to quit before your body actually needs to. That moment is the real test. Because most people obey that voice. They stop early. They convince themselves it is enough. But in reality, they never reach their limit. There is a rule that explains this perfectly, the 40% rule. When you feel like you are done, you are only at 40% of your true capacity. That means everything after that is mental, not physical, mental resistance. And that is where people break, not because they cannot continue, but because they believe they cannot continue. And belief is powerful. If you believe you are done, you are done. If you believe you can go further, you go further. That is why mindset controls everything. Not talent, not luck, not opportunity, mindset. And mindset is built through repetition, through doing hard things again and again. Even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because feelings are unreliable, they change every hour, but discipline is stable. Discipline is what you do regardless of emotion. Most people avoid silence because silence exposes truth. When everything is quiet, you are forced to face yourself. No distraction, no noise, no escape, just you and your thoughts. And that is uncomfortable for most people, because in that silence, they realize how undisciplined they actually are, how distracted they are, how far they are from the life they want. So they avoid it. They fill their life with noise, social media, entertainment, constant stimulation, anything to avoid self-reflection. But growth does not happen in noise. It happens in silence, in uncomfortable reflection, in honest self-confrontation. That is where real change begins. Not when you feel motivated, but when you finally stop lying to yourself and decide to rebuild. Most people underestimate what they are capable of. They think they need better conditions, better timing, better support. But the truth is, they need better standards, higher standards for themselves. Because once your standards rise, your behavior follows. And when your behavior changes consistently, your life changes permanently. But that requires discipline in isolation, doing the work when nobody is watching, when there is no applause, no recognition, just repetition. And that is where most people quit, because it feels invisible. But invisible work is what builds visible success. You don't rise in public, you rise in private. And then the world notices later. But by then, you are already built. You are already different. You are already dangerous. So ask yourself one final question. Can you take one more step when your mind says stop? Because that one step, repeated daily, is what separates potential from reality. And at the end of everything, it still comes down to the same fight. You versus you.